Auto and My RVTV. Today, as you can see, we've got the Land Rover Turbo Diesel HSE Discovery 3. This is the top of the line Discovery. This particular vehicle has probably won more awards worldwide than almost any other vehicle, and rightly so. It's a fantastic piece of kit, drives beautifully on road, awesome off-road, will take 7 in comfort. We're going to put it through its paces today on our normal track, but my suspicion is it'll all be just a little bit too easy for it, because like most Land Rovers, it's just awesome off-road. Let's have a look, see what it's like, and we'll talk a bit later on. One of the things you'll notice about the Land Rover Discovery 3 when you're sitting inside is that it is incredibly quiet and smooth. The motor itself is not particularly powerful compared to a lot of other vehicles on the market these days, but it just seems to work so well. I made it to its 6-speed transmission, and with the suspension sorted as only Land Rover can sort a suspension, you're just cruising along beautifully. I mean, you'll notice now we're actually on a dirt road. It's a bit corrugated, and it just glides along quietly. Not a lot of road intrusion. Pretty cool, actually. The other thing inside the Land Rover Discovery 3 is that it is a very comfortable place to be, especially in the HSE model as we've done. Leather everywhere, all of the stuff you could possibly want in terms of the knickknacks. Rear entertainment system, Bluetooth, great stereo system, satellite navigation, dual climate controlled air conditioning, all your controls on the steering wheel. It just is a magic place to sit and drive, particularly in a 4-wheel drive, and also with it being as quiet and as smooth as it actually is. The driver's seat itself, very comfortable, multiple adjustments for every which way you can, 3 memory positions you can set, steering wheel height and reach adjustable, which means that you can find almost the perfect driving position. I do notice that you are actually sitting upright, and so therefore your angle of your foot to the accelerator is a little bit sharp, so sometimes after a while you get a bit of a pain in the ankle. But apart from that, the driving position is fantastic. Passenger seat really couldn't want for anything else. There's plenty of room in the middle row of seats for 3 adults. Very comfortable, all individually sculpted and tailored, and with the rear entertainment system, again, a great place to be. And as you'll see, the very rearmost seats are for 2, and I'm 6'3" and weigh a lot more than I should, but I can fit comfortably in there and could sit there for a reasonable distance of travelling, as opposed to trying to pretend I'm a legless midget and hopping out doubled over when you jump out. So it's not particularly long in the wheelbase, only 2800 millimetres plus a touch more, but they've done a great job of extracting maximum amount of space internally. We've just turned off now onto a much harder fire trail, and although it's quite bumpy, the Discovery is taking this road better than almost anything else that we have driven along here. It just seems to cruise beautifully. It's just designed for this type of work. The other cars that we've really found that handle this track as well, if not better than this, is the Range Rover, obviously, and also the Freelander, which surprisingly has amazingly good suspension system sorted. One of the key features of all of the Land Rover 4-wheel drives is its brilliant terrain response system. It's basically a pick where you want to go, pick the system, and it puts it in the right sort of mode for you. It's 4-wheel driving made easy, and to be honest, it's pretty good really. Might stick this baby in low range. It has an electronic air suspension, so it will raise and lower itself to the appropriate height for the selection that you use. The other thing that it does is it gives it a fantastic ground clearance. Okay, let's just take off and away we go. The other thing that the Discovery has is unbelievable wheel articulation. So we can just drop over this rock drop. Most times what we'll do is we'll find that that rear wheel is off the ground in almost every vehicle we have, but you can guarantee that in the Discovery it'll be sitting on the ground. That's just all too easy. You can hear the electronic traction control system clicking in. Slight bit of body scraping underneath, and it just comes up. Because the diesel motor has most of its torque kicking around 1900 revs, means it's ideally suited for just crawling around off-road. Problem with most 100,000 plus four-wheel drives is that once having spent that money, you really don't want to take them off-road because you don't want to damage them. The difference between Range Rover and Land Rover and most of the others is that they are so capable off-road that you absolutely minimise any chance you possibly have of damaging them because they're so good. The only limiting factor that we've found with this so far is the tyres, and they'll give some slip on rock steps. Well, that's it for today in the Discovery 3. As we said before, for around 100 grand, talk to dealer to get the proper price. But for around 100 grand, this is an awesome vehicle, exceptionally capable off-road, very comfortable on-road, will sit 7 in comfort, particularly some of my size in the rear seats. It's got all the luxury you could possibly want internally, drives beautifully on-road. Yeah, you can see why it is such a popular vehicle and why it has won so many awards. Would we buy one? Absolutely. Would we use it? Absolutely. And we'd use it for what it was meant to be used. We'd chuck a bull bar on it and away we'd go. The sad part about these vehicles is that although they are used a lot for towing, particularly in the horse fraternity, and it's got a 3.5 tonne tow capacity, they really don't get used an awful lot for what they're meant to be. And it's almost like having a thoroughbred horse and just sticking it in the paddock and not using it. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Are we there yet, Dad? Dad, we there yet? There we go. Don't put that on the fucking